What's up, you guys? Ross Sapp, managing editor of Fightful.com and FightfulWrestling.com, here for a news update brought to you by LivingSharp.com. If you need a gift idea, head over to LivingSharp.com, where you can find any type of gift for any occasion. I'm telling you, some creative ideas over there at LivingSharp.com. Jeff Jarrett, TNA founder Jeff Jarrett, to be inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame class of 2018. This is a bit of a surprise. He's one of those people, he being Jeff Jarrett, that many thought would never be in the good graces of WWE again. But here he is. He's going into the Hall of Fame just months after he was essentially fired from his spot in then Global Force Wrestling, now Impact Wrestling. He has had his issues with WWE repeatedly. He's had his issues with many companies repeatedly, including TNA multiple times. He ended up marrying the ex-wife of Kurt Angle, which caused some issues there. Had some issues upon his return last year. Kind of no-showed some shows in 1995. Then, depending on what you believe, who you believe, maybe held up the WWE for money in 1999. Although Bruce Pritchard on his podcast has since come out and said that was more him wanting his royalties up front because he was afraid that he wasn't going to get them after he left. And, you know, there are always people, I've always said that Jeff Jarrett and cockroaches will be the two that survive the wrestling apocalypse. But 6-time NWA World Heavyweight Champion, 4-time WCW Champion, 3-time WCW United States Champion, in addition to 6 runs as an Intercontinental Champion, 1 as a European Champion, and 1 as a WWE or WWF Tag Team Champion. Like, he's been around. He's done a lot of it. Won the King of the Mountain Championship in TNA a few years ago when he made his return. Held championships in AAA. Like, he's been around. And the thing is, when I was younger and I saw him, I was like, man, this is a throwback. And I didn't even really know what a throwback was then. I was just like, man, this does not fit in this time with the straps and the hair and all that stuff. And then when he came back to WWE and he cut his hair and he adopted a lot of different things, the don't piss me off. And in WCW, he would use slap nuts and things like that. I thought that he translated rather well to the Attitude Era. I thought that almost ironically, that period was like his best fit. And I would have never guessed that a few years prior. Of course, he had that very promising tag team with Owen Hart that tragically ended. But then he founded TNA Wrestling and provided work for a lot of people for a long time. And I always thought when Jeff Jarrett wasn't booking himself, that he booked rather well, at least back in the day. You know, there are some things to be said about his title run, like Monty Brown should have went over him. There are a lot of stars that could have been made in TNA that weren't, and maybe they got sour on it and left. But I think Jeff Jarrett is more than a qualified Hall of Fame inductee. You're going to hear that what I think is a stupid quote from Mike Graham several years ago before his passing, where he said he broke 1,000 guitars and never drew a dime. Well, I wouldn't agree with that. Hey, he drew at least $30 because I sarcastically bought one of those laser engraved guitars last year, which maybe I'll give away on the site now. Subscribe, like, thumbs up, because that will help if I eventually give away this guitar that sat in my office sarcastically for a year. Yeah, as far as inductions, Road Dogg seems like a natural. They spend a lot of time together. I normally I would say Karen Jarrett because of the promo that she cut in TNA a few years ago, which I thought was honestly one of the promos of the year when she showed up in TNA Wrestling a couple of years ago and talked about Jarrett. But a bit of a shocking move, but Jeff Jarrett in the Hall of Fame. We'll have more on it on the List and Your Boy this week, 3 p.m. Eastern. Of course, the Post-Raw podcast, myself and Alex will talk about it as well. Lots of stuff to break down in this one. Until next time, guys, visit Fightful.com, FightfulWrestling.com. We have all your pro wrestling, MMA, and boxing news. We're out.